Hello guys, welcome to your 16th video, and we're just going to continue from where we reached, which is got to a point where we have to create a new test. Okay, so we're going to create a platform in a page where the teacher can put in some values and add a new test to this tests table. So let's get started. So when the teacher clicks on create a new test, it should open the page where the teacher can also create a new test. So how do we do this? First, you must bring our HTML and PHP codes just like how we had in the previous files, because they're the same thing. It checks whether the user is actually logged in and all that we explained in the previous video. So you can go to any of them, teacher.php or student.php, copy or control A, then you paste it in the new text, control V. Then yeah, you change the name of the title to this one is a new test, right? Yeah, and you can delete all this, okay, and save, and you have your new test file. Okay, so you're going to create a form where the teacher can type in the values for the new test, and we're going to connect it to the JavaScript to connect to the PHP to add the new text actually into this table. Okay, so it's very simple. I'm going to go in depth into some of the input types of forms in this video too. So after you bring your form tag, and the first thing we need is the name of the test. So the name is a text, right? Is a text type, like it's A, B, C, D, 1, 2, 3. They are just text. So you bring your input tag, okay, then you bring your type, then you bring text, all right, then you bring your greater than sign. You can bring a slash, it doesn't really make a difference. Then you bring your other input type. So this one will be the description. Okay, so the description is not a text, it's not just an input, it's a text area. Okay, so this text area will be description. All right, and the third thing we'll need is the total mark. The total mark is a number. So after you bring your input, then you bring your type, then you bring your number. So you only bring text area where you need to enter a lot of things, like you need to enter like an essay, a paragraph, those kind of things. That's when you bring text area. For example, if you have a form like this, all right, if you want to enter a message, okay, you can't use input because inputs are smaller, all right, so use text area, which will give you this wide space. Okay, so that is why we need text area for the description, because the teacher might type a lot of things inside the description. So after we get the text, which is for the name, and we have the number, which is for the, what was it for? It was for the total mark. We need a timer. The timer is also a number. Okay, then you also need the attempts. The number of attempts is also a number. Then you need the, yeah, so that is it for this form to get the data and put it inside the test table. So we're going to name our input. So this one will be the name of test. So you can actually use a placeholder, but then I'm going to use this. So this one will be description of the text, and you bring a line break. Then this one will be the total mark or overall mark. The next one will be the timer. So you bring a line break, and the next one will be the timer or time. Then the last one is the attempts. So number of attempts. Okay, so let's see how it looks like in our browser. So refresh. Yeah, so we have the name of the test, the description, the overall mark, the time, and the number of attempts. So we need to bring one last thing, which is the button. So the button is what we will click on for the teacher to add the test to the database. So when you click on the button, it should run a function called add test. Okay, so we're gonna do the same thing just like how we did in our index.php file. Okay, so that means we will need this jquery.min.js file in our body. So you go down, then you paste it here. Then we need to create a new JavaScript file to get the values from our text. But then I told you that before the JavaScript file can get the values, you need to give them IDs, which the JavaScript file will use to fetch the values. Okay, yeah, so I forgot to bring this in case there's any error which happens. Yeah, we need to bring this. What did we bring? You'll put it inside the form, so you can just put it inside the form. Okay, so we're going to create a new JavaScript file. This one was validate.js. We're going to call this file. We're going to call this file Control S save add tests.js or new test.js. Let me use that. New test.js. So we go to applications, you find your directory, and you save it inside your JS folder. New test.js. Okay, so this folder, this new test.js will have a function called add tests. All right. So this function will add the tests. So that's how you run a function. You bring two brackets and you bring a curly bracket. Then you press enter. Yeah, it will indent for you. Really nice. Yeah. So now we have this. We have to call it inside our HTML file, which is why we can just copy the code we wrote in the index.php file. Yeah, and you can just oh my bad. You can just paste it here and change the name from validate to new test.js. Good. So now we have accessed our new test.js file. Let's test if it will work. So anytime we click on new test, let's provide an alert called hey. Okay, so let's refresh the browser and see if our test will actually provide an alert called hey. This means that the JavaScript is connected and is working. That means that any other error which will pop up is not from the connection of the JavaScript to the HTML and that everything is successful. So let's go to HTML code, refresh the page, and oh, sorry, we didn't name our button. So that's why you see this small icon there. That means there is no name in it. So you come here and you name your button, which is add text. You put it inside the opening and closing tag. Then you refresh and you see the name successfully. Then you good. It shows hey. That means that our JavaScript is working. So all we have to do is to get the values from the add test form. Alright. So this is the add test form. You can just click here and give it a name. Add new test. Refresh. You can also give line breaks to make things organized. Okay, so we gave the ID to the error, but we didn't give the IDs to the other ones. So you're gonna give the IDs to this. This one will be name. This one will be description. This one will be the overall mark. This one will be the time. This one will be the attempts. Alright, so let's go to our JavaScript. You're gonna get arrow, name, description, or my timer, attempts. Just create variables for them. Arrow. Then you bring dollar bracket. Then you bring your two quotation marks. Then you bring your hash. Hash refers to ID. Then the first one is arrow dot value. The next thing we need is the name, description, or mark, timer, attempts. So variable name, variable description, variable or mark, variable timer, variable attempts, Let's see if everything is correct. Attempts, timer, mark, description. Yeah, everything is correct. Good. So the next thing to do is to put the content in our database. But I've showed you in the previous tutorial that you can't just put the content in the database because JavaScript is a front-end language. Before you can put your content inside this MySQL database, you need the PHP. So we need to send content to, to PHP file. Okay, and the file will take over and put the content to the MySQL. So to do that, you need Ajax. I showed you that. So dot post. So inside this, you need the name of the file, name of PHP file, and after you get the name, you need to pass in the variables and the key. So the key and the value. So you need the error will be the ID, will be the the key, and the variable will be error. Okay, and the name of this, the next key is called name, and the variable will be name. Next key called description, the variable will be description. The next key called mark, and the variable is called. The next key will be timer, and the variable will be timer. Next key attempts, the variable will be attempts. All right, yeah. So after you're done, you get a function. So this function will get a return statement inside our message, and our message will move to a new page where we will add the questions if it was successfully added to the list of tests. So in the next video, I'm going to write a PHP file to add these things into the database, and yeah, and also if it is successfully input into the database, we're going to open another page where we will add the questions one after the other. Okay, so please subscribe to this channel, and you can share this to as many people as you know.